Welcome to the camp page. Hi, everyone. Welcome
Hi,
to
guys.
the Relishing Dev podcast, where we devour everything in the TWD universe. I'm Dawn.
I'm Carol. I'm Carol. We really need to work out the whole.
Yes.
Clockwise, counterclockwise. We be us.
Yes.
Hi, everybody.
So we're here to discuss the Daryl Dixon, and we're already on episode 3. We're already halfway through. Gosh.
Wow.
And it's called, you're going to have to help me with the name. Who wants to do the French?
Nope.
Eliza can.
Paris, Sera, Toujours, Paris. Paris, Sera, Toujours, Paris.
Look at her. She's like been over in Paris.
Translation?
Paris will always be Paris.
There you go. Paris will always be Paris. So this has been my favorite episode so far. I really enjoyed it. So what do you guys think about this episode?
Who's going to go first?
Oh, Barb, you go.
No, you guys go first.
Barb's our skeptic.
Yeah,
well, like I said, I probably will feed a lot more off of you guys. I'm a big walker person, so I'm loving the walkers. And, like there was a scene where Daryl used the burner walker to burn the trees. The action was good. I just kind of felt lost a little bit. As you see the slides come up, I'll explain why. I was a little bored. So that's why I think I'm going to feed off a little bit more of you guys and understand a little bit more. There were some things I just didn't see where it was going. It didn't seem to move for me, other than we found out who Laurent's father was, But next.
I liked it. I'm kind of like Dawn. This was probably one of my favorite episodes. We're starting to get a lot of filling information, a lot more things coming into, making sense, and the action was great. The walkers that we saw were fantastic. Few new crazy characters. But yeah, I really liked it.
I liked it.
But
hey, hotties. Hey, Casey. How are you, baby?
Hi, Casey.
Hey, Casey.
I liked it for a lot of course, the visual, the sets, the nasty walkers, the creativity, that kind of thing. Since we discussed a lot of this stuff last week and we had our own theories and stuff, and a lot of those theories were confirmed this week. So there was no shock. There was no, oh, wow, great big revelations or anything like that. But I did love the set design and the walkers and all that kind of stuff. I thought they were super duper creepy. And, I dig that kind of stuff. So I find beauty in all that grossness. So
I do too. And like I said, that was probably my favorite part, as always.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed the testing and seeing, I don't know if they're CRM or what they are affiliated with, but I really enjoy like that part of it. Cauldron and then what's going on, because I feel like it's getting closer to Rick Grimes.
Yeah. And I want to see more of the testing.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, there were some freaky walkers. I'm thinking about like Dead City, where the walkers fell off the building.
Mm-hmm.
These sons.
Oh, and they were still moving in this one.
They get up and keep going. They're like damn Duracell rabbits. I mean, they fall, they get up, and they keep going. But
they're almost robotic. Like,
yes, very much.
Did you see that? Did you see that when he got up? He was
like, that's how I am in the morning.
Yeah.
But yes, exactly.
And also reminds me of World Beyond, because they showed the testing.
Mm-hmm.
So,
right.
Yeah.
A lot more of it too, which was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's all coming together.
Yes.
Yes.
Getting excited.
All those world beyond naysayers. Right.
Right.
It starts getting really good, and then you're kind of like, well, dang, there's only 3 more episodes, and we got to wait.
I definitely found a lot more of the side-by-sides for me. I'm always looking in the background, finding things. So I found a few more of those in this episode.
I know you make me do that, Barb.
What was that?
I said, you make me do that, looking in the background and stuff.
I know.
No,
pretty good ones this time.
I did try to pay attention to the opening sequence. and I didn't see any changes to it. So that we may not, unless it's towards the end, may not see anything. But I keep watching.
I don't post it on here on the podcast, but I've actually been doing, since I'm the one that takes the screenshots for the slides. I have been doing a side-by-side comparison from episode 1 to episode 3 now, and I will change the second slide out and then kind of blow it up, because again, Barb is evil and she's taught me to do this kind of stuff.
Right.
So I'm diligently looking, and I haven't found anything yet.
Yeah.
So
I don't think they're changing it up.
who knows?
Mm-hmm.
Who knows? All right. Well,
Let's see what we got. Let's savor.
Let's
savor.
go. Now.
now. All right. Opening sequence. We've got them arriving at the stranger's building at the horse and the drawn carriage, just parking it out front like you usually do. Daryl says, he hands the rifle to Sylvia and says, "Protect the horse."
I don't know. I wouldn't leave 2 kids alone out there.
Or a horse.
Or a horse.
Yeah.
I'm
They're a rare
surprised
commodity.
PETA has not said something to AMC. I am still on that they do not like horses.
Yep.
This horse's days are numbered for sure. He's a little nervous. Okay, so they meet. What did you call him, Barb?
Princess 2.0.
So they meet Princess 2.0, and I believe Pam reiterated that earlier.
Yep.
Can
I heard
just
that. I was
say-
like, what?
Can I just say one thing? I have been wanting to say this since Sunday night.
Yeah.
This is what happened to the Grateful Dead. This is the Grateful Dead 10.0.
So one of the things, Barb has her issues with some scenes and stuff, and I do too. And the thing, and I don't know if anybody noticed this or not, but when Daryl is in the office with this guy and with Izzy, he sees that this radio is all chopped up and everything. He tries to plug it in to get it started, discovers that it doesn't work because some parts have been reused for other things. So as the guy ushers them to follow him, he walks back by the radio and he unplugs it. Why?
Daryl?
Yeah, Daryl walks by.
I think it looked like to me like he just looked at the wires like, what the hell? And I don't know.
His hand reaches up, and I don't know if he's grabbing it and he's pocketed the wire, but it looks like he's unplugging the thing for some reason. And I was like, why?
I think he just like lifted him and like went, psh, like what the hell? And yeah.
So I have a note about this. When and I can't think of what his name is, but when he asks them to follow him, he asks them if they like Ravel. And this is where my geeky side comes out. My father was classically trained as an organist and a musician. And he asked them if they like Ravel. So they follow him to the theater. And this orchestra is actually playing Bolero from Ravel. And that's the music that you hear. And I thought that was really interesting because Ravel's father was actually the guy who created the Wheel of Death in the circuses, where they've got the 2 wheels and it's connected and you have performers and it kind of goes around like this. Okay. Ravel's father created that.
Great.
And so he's all about mechanisms and stuff like that. And so I found it interesting that this guy did the same thing with his orchestra, that he created these musical instruments out of dead bodies.
I'm just telling you, Grateful Dead. I giggled when I saw the trumpet shoved down their throats.
Yes.
Those guys?
Yes. Yeah.
The harp player.
And I just cackled. I'm like, Ooh, Jerry Garcia would be proud.
This is Princess. This is Princess's grandfather.
There you go.
I know, right?
Or,
Yeah.
hey, if
So-
we ever interview Paola, we'll have to show her this and say we found Princess's grandfather.
There you go.
So,
She just needed to go to France to find her people. That's all. So, and this was a bad slide, and I'm sorry about this. It was the only one that I could capture. But when Daryl and Izzy come outside, the walker that's coming towards them is actually handcuffed to another walker that he's dragging behind. And was it you, Dawn, or was it you, Barb,
Yeah.
in our chat?
Dawn.
it was me.
Okay.
I directly went to the testing at the end because the chains, and they were chained up, and I was wondering if they were test subjects that had escaped and was bitten, or they were just test subjects that got away. You know, they were already walkers.
Right.
Yeah.
And I could see that because the handcuffs are actually padlocks. You can see a padlock on that. And that would make sense.
That's such dead weight.
That's it. I'm
Literally.
done.
That's where you hear that song. He ain't heavy. He's my brother.
He's my brother. All right. So Laurent sees the Eiffel Tower, and I'm assuming that this would be the first time that he sees it,
Yeah, that's what I'm understood.
right?
Yes.
So I thought that was kind of cool because it's kind of foreshadowing. I mean, he doesn't know about the picture of his mom yet, and here they have the Eiffel Tower.
Mm-hmm.
This kid is really smart. I mean, the things that he references in this show is nutso. Okay, so let's dive into this whole Jim Morrison thing. Aliza, you got something to say about this?
Well, I mean, I tried really hard to get the song for us. C'est étrange, People Are Strange. It was actually done by a group called the Math Club, and it was a great variation of this. You know, it just felt out of place. I mean, other than just a nod to Jim Morrison and to the song that was playing in the background. But of course, you know, the weird thing is we hear the song, Daryl doesn't. But
Right?
it just kind of, I don't know, it just kind of felt weird there.
Well,
you know,
it took me to the Lost Boys, and it's kind of like Daryl's Lost, and you know they played that song on the Lost Boys movie, so that's kind of where it took me. And I'm like, well,
that's
Daryl's lost.
yeah, that's a great point.
Yeah.
And you know, and with Jim Morrison being an American artist dying in Paris, it was kind of poignant when Laurent said, "Don't worry, Daryl, you won't die here." You know.
Yeah. I
But he
agree.
will. Does that mean he will, but he just won't die there?
No, he's not going to die there. Hush up.
Barb, you're going to give Destiny and Regina both aneurysms. Be careful. The thing that I did find interesting in some research about this was that Jim Morrison's father, who was a rear admiral, is actually responsible for the epitaph that's on the tombstone. It wasn't there before, I want to say in the 1980s, it just had Jim's name and the dates on it. But there were a lot of people that were vandalizing his tombstone, and they went back in the 80s, and his father had it redone. And the epitaph, loosely translated, means true to his spirit. There's a lot of different ideas what that means, but I thought that was interesting. And there's so many other people that are buried in this cemetery, but a couple of them that I wanted to make note of were who was it? Sera Bernhardt is buried there. Marcel Marceau is buried there, and Oscar Wilde is buried there in the same cemetery. So I thought that was an interesting little trivia.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I love the epitaph because that is very, very Daryl-ish.
Mm-hmm. True to his spirit, right? Destiny says he's going to be just fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's going to be just fine. All right.
I like this dude.
Tell me why. Tell us why.
He reminds me of a soft soul.
Yeah.
I don't know.
He's kind of
I'm not going to say Morgan, but like a soft soul. Like I like his character.
he's a cross between Ezekiel and Nelson Mandela.
What's his name? Falou? Is that his
Falou.
name? Falou? Does that
I
sound
think
about right?
he reminds me a little bit of Herschel too, because he's very calming.
Mhm.
Yeah, soft soul. Exactly.
Reassuring. Yeah.
I would agree with that. I'm interested. I hope that he has a long storyline.
Mhm.
He gone next week.
That's what
We just left Falou. Oh, sorry. Rest
We're
in
not
peace.
allowed to like people.
I know, right?
the good ones die young.
Yeah. Kiki Sophia says she likes him too, and Destiny does. Sorry, guys. He's going to be dead next week.
I know. You can't like people in this show.
Yeah.
Right.
How did we feel about this interaction with Laurent and the kids? And then, of course, Laurent with, what is her name? Sonia?
Sonia?
Yeah, Sonia.
It really touched me.
Yeah. I think he is definitely something special. I don't know if he's the cure, but he definitely has a spirit about him, and I think they knew it as soon as he went to Sonia. And I had a feeling she was going to like cling to him right away, which she did.
Well, you remember the nuns were calling him the Messiah, and I got that imagery in my mind of, the people coming up to him, the kids coming up to him and giving him gifts. It was like paying alms to the Messiah. But then he picked up on Sonia without anybody saying anything to him, and he went to her.
Right.
One thing I like about AMC is they are very good about adding religious imagery, inclusivity, without it slapping you in the face. And
Right.
there's the parable in the Bible about the 99 sheep where he leaves the 99 sheep to go find the one that's lost. And I felt that with Laurent. He left all these people who were giving him gifts and just oohing and gooing over him to go to her, to offer her comfort and solace. And according to Falou, she had not wanted or wanted any of that,
Mm-hmm. Who lost Dawn? Oh, there she is.
He's back.
So
Sorry, I got kicked off by a phone call.
So it was just very moving to me. And I think it even impressed upon Daryl that, yeah, maybe there is something with this kid.
Yep.
What did you think, Dawn, about him leaving the group and going to help Sonia?
I think that just reaffirmed what they want us to believe, that his character is special, chosen.
Yeah. I liked the fact, and you touched on it a second ago, Eliza, about how inclusive AMC is. When these kids are giving him these gifts, he's saying merci to the French kids. And the very last girl, he says namaste, because he immediately recognizes that she's Hindu. She didn't say anything to him. How would he know? But instinctively, he said namaste to her. And I thought that was really interesting. And Maria, you have hit it on the head. He is an empath. I do believe that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Either that or they're just screwing with us because AMC likes to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So here is
Pokemon.
I love putting this slide together. And I got to tell you, Anissa was the catalyst to this slide, because Anissa, she compared this guy to Professor Willow on Pokemon Go on Facebook today. And I thought, oh, I wonder. So I went back and I looked at the guy and I'm like, yeah, I could see it, but who do I think he reminds me of? And then one of the girls, was it you, Barb? Or who was it that did, it was you and Eliza that did Gene Wilder thing. Yeah.
Frankenstein.
Frankenstein. It's Frankenstein.
Frankenstein, one of my favorite movies. But I love that movie. I love that movie. It's one of my favorites, but I did not see that until you showed it to me.
Frankenstein. But see, I went in a completely twisted, weird way, and he reminded me of Dr. Strangelove, believe it or not, and the twisted sicko, Anyway, so that's where I went.
That's fantastic.
I love and this is though the Pokemon dude.
Yeah, Professor Willow.
Well, I'm hoping that if one of his experiments goes right, that he does this. Gene Wilder, it's alive. No.
Okay. So I love, this is just,
Good shot.
I know, right? I had to wait the 18 seconds to get it.
Look at the head in the jar, like,
I know, he's grinning away. He's like, yeah, that's my bud. Hello.
AMC auctions that off. I want it.
Right. I love the concept of these walkers just being just nasty and super strong and just
Ruthless.
Yes, exactly. I love that.
So at the when Cordon is first being escorted into Gannett's office, he walks past them testing. Dawn, did you not feel like they were in there like poking it with cattle prods? They were poking it with something.
I think that's why it got so mad and was like jerking the chains.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's what I was wondering if anybody else thought it was cattle prods or something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, it was creepy. But I love the dude in the jar.
Does this not remind you of the end of World Beyond? The trailer, the credit trailer? It reminded me of it.
Yeah.
Heads in a jar remind me of the governor.
The governor, yes.
The governor.
I don't remember that part though, Dawn, of the World Beyond.
Where it became really fast and then took and then ran into the wall.
Yeah.
At the end. Yeah.
After the doctor, when she had turned. Yeah.
Oh, yes. Okay.
Okay, so did any of you guys watch Z Nation?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you remember they would put the heads in alcohol and like ferment it, and they would drink it, and it was like, they did that with the Z weed too, but it was like so I'm wondering if anybody's going to be like tapping in and having a drink of Sammy over here.
Oh my God.
I'll pass.
Ew. Dawn, ew.
No, I'll pass.
Okay. So here we have the picture of Laurent's mom. And then somebody had made mention of it reminding them of the picture that Carl went and got with Michonne.
I did. Me.
Right. Dawn.
Mm-hmm.
And then I went a step further and I remembered that Carl took a picture with Judith
for RJ,
for a keepsake.
Yeah.
So there's this theme of, trying to remember those that are family that we care about.
Logan, I love you.
Oh gosh, we love you.
That is fantastic. Thank you.
That's a wonderful compliment.
Thanks.
What happened? What did I miss?
Logan said we were better than Talking Dead.
Aww.
Logan hotter.
Logan gets the bonus prize tonight.
Yes.
He's one of our bonus kids, so he's a good kid. Now, there's another reoccurring theme thanks to my friend Barb.
I just like when they focus in on things, and I know it's probably not, but it looks like Rick's watch.
Right.
Sorry.
Hey, it could be Jeffrey's.
It could be.
No,
I'm just saying they focused in on it for a long time, and I know she's collecting drugs and stuff, but they're sitting on it for a while. So I was like, it's just like the watch, and there was somebody they were focusing in on the CRM. I don't remember if it was the leader or not, but the same thing. And I'm like, what the hell? But yeah, I don't know. They just sat on it for a little longer, and I'm like, Rick's watch.
See, I took it as in I was thinking of Merle again with Daryl and Izzy and Breaking Bad and the the drugs, and yeah, that just took me right there. They're like shadow, and he talks about Merle to her a lot, and I just feel that connection with them on a lot of levels.
Yeah.
And wasn't it you, Dawn, that said he talks about Merle more than he ever has?
Yes. Yes.
I think there's a mixture of stuff going on there, but like I said, I'm looking for Rick, so I found his watch.
I don't know if you all feel this way, but I feel like this story could be on its own. Like, I really think Izzy is like, she could lead this series by herself.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And I feel like Daryl's just kind of stuck in there, and I think that's why it feels maybe an out of place to Barb. But I really think like Daryl's doing a good job, but I really think she could do that series by herself.
Yeah.
And tell that story.
Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah, she's fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And she is almost the female reflection of him.
Yes.
You know, the lost sister, the lost brother, the sketchy past. I mean, they are a complete reflection.
Scars.
Yeah. The complete reflection of one another.
And Destiny even said that the drugs reminded her of Merle too, in that connection.
Yeah.
I just got tickled at Daryl looking at kind of like when she's like, I wasn't always a nut. He's like, it's obvious. You know? Duh.
Yeah.
But even Fear and even The World Beyond, I'm looking for things. So if something like that pops up and they focus in on it, I have to shout it out there, just in case.
Yeah.
Well, like you said, AMC doesn't do anything for happenstance.
Yeah. And it could be just, not even his, but they could just do it as an Easter egg, like you said. So.
No, I dig it. All right.
There's another one. So another thing that they focused on was the fact that Daryl was looking at this walker across the building, and immediately I went to Michonne. It looked exactly like Michonne from season 4 and her entire outfit. So another little Easter egg. It has nothing to do with Michonne, but as soon as he was like focusing in on her, and again, they looked at her for a little bit longer, and that was the exact same outfit. So great side by side, Carol.
I didn't even think about that till you mentioned it. And when I went back and rewatched, it is almost like he does a double take.
Well, we know The Walking Dead so much that we know that they do things for a reason. And if he's focusing on this one walker across the building, there's a reason why. And it's identical. Even the hair. It's so Michonne.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. So
fantastic.
Yeah. Angel said there's always something underlying, like a reflection. You just never know what you're going to see in those small little details.
Exactly. And that might even reminded him of Michonne and home and stuff, and he's just reflecting. But man, instantly I was like, holy crap.
But that's such a good catch, because I didn't even connect it. And it's such a great catch, Barb.
Thank you. I tell you, when they linger, it just, I don't know.
There's something there.
I'm going to the school of Barb for this kind of stuff.
Exactly.
Aww. What was her name?
Amy.
Amy?
Oh, I said lunch.
I do have a question about this one, and I think I've brought it up to you guys. And, so from the beginning of the apocalypse is when we saw her till now is about what, 13 years? Something like that.
However old Laurent is.
Okay. So don't you think she should have been a little bit more decayed?
Yeah, I think so, but I think the reason that I don't know, I'm just second guessing Greg Nicotero, who the hell am I to do that? But I would imagine that they wanted her to be recognizable.
Yeah.
Let's ask him in Lexington.
I'm willing to do that. I'm 100%. I'm there.
Yeah.
And then I did say, what was she doing there for 13 years? And Isabel didn't see her because she lived there. But Carol made a good point. That was the first time that she went back.
Right.
So, but yeah, I was like, they didn't run into her before.
And, I'm sure it was just reaction of the walker. But it pulled at my heart. It was like she was reaching for Izzy.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
It kind of reminded me of the John Dory in Fear the Walking Dead, how he was reaching for June, whether he was reaching because he still recognized her and wanted help, or he was reaching to try to grab her and eat her. But here you felt like that. You felt like that longing of Amy reaching for Izzy.
Yeah. And I have to wonder why Isabel wouldn't let Daryl put her down.
I know. I thought that was
I
interesting.
questioned that because, you know, I mean, they're always so particular about making sure that they put down, you know, that they don't let them be in this state.
Oh, I didn't even think of that.
So,
You know, it might be something with their religion because they didn't have the priest put down either.
oh, I didn't even think about that. But yeah, Père Jean, or whatever his name is.
Yeah, John.
Right.
Good point.
All right, here we go.
This is why I need you guys.
I'm going to say that.
Good point.
Destiny made a good point. She just said that this reminded her of when Maggie had a tough time putting down the kid walker.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Forgot about that.
Yeah. Okay, Barb.
What?
What's your question?
Oh, is this my what? Is this my burning walker
Yes.
pictures? Okay, yeah. This is one of my favorite scenes is when Daryl uses the burning walker to burn through the trees to get through there. And I know this is nothing, but it just reminded me of when Carol sliced the neck of the walker and used the blood to put out the fire. So they're using the walkers to their advantage in a different way than just using their guts. But this was pretty badass.
Yeah.
And who does that walker look like? To me, he reminded me of the White Walker King.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, from Game of Thrones.
Yeah, when they called the White Walkers or something like that. The king.
Yep.
Creepy eyes. Creepy.
Yeah. His eyes totally creeped me out. And the way that he got up and kind of did that mech that thing, you know?
Reminds me of like Ring or something, that movie.
Yeah,
I mean, that you can, you know, I mean, Dawn, what was it you were saying? When they fall, they get right back up.
Yes, and it's just like, yeah, it's just creepy, which I love it because it adds to the walkers. Makes it more terrifying.
Yeah, that's pretty badass though that he did.
Did you all notice too the eyes? Like the eyes are so vibrant, but in The Walking Dead, the eyes aren't so vibrant. I mean, they were with Amy, but after that, they weren't. But now they're like really vibrant.
I know. I noticed that too. We noticed that last week in that one walker. Right?
Yeah, and even the priest, even though he had exorcist eyes, they were still extremely bright.
Well, do you think it has, because they're the burning walkers, do you think that has something to do with the testing that they're doing on them?
Maybe.
Yeah. I do.
Or I wonder if, you know, I mean, it's got to have something, because I'm like Dawn, they don't look like dead eyes.
Mm-hmm.
No, they don't. They look like there's some sort of cognition there.
A consciousness, yeah.
I thought this was really cute, and I grabbed this slide because and this is going to get a little personal, so excuse me, but as someone who's adopted, I had never seen a picture of someone who looked like me my entire life. And so I could totally and completely relate to this kid when he's showing everybody the picture of his mother. Because he's super excited because now he's connected with this being that gave birth to him. And now he wants to show her off to everybody. And he thinks that she's the most beautiful thing that's ever been created. You know, he shares her with Daryl, and he shares her with, what's her name?
Anna.
Yeah, shares her with Anna Valerie. And so every chance he gets, he's just sharing this picture with everybody. And I just thought that was just the sweetest thing.
Mm-hmm.
It was so cute.
So in this same scene, but before they come, did you guys not feel like Daryl, when he said, "I'm sorry about the little girl," did you not feel like he was getting ready to maybe tell her about Sophia, but then they showed up?
Yeah, I almost felt like it was like a parallel to Carol. Right
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was hoping that he would have said, "I understand," and been able to tell the story, but then they showed up. So
right.
Yeah. Logan wants to know why more people aren't watching us.
I don't know. Tell everybody about us, Logan.
Yeah,
Tell them about it, Logan.
Share it, share it, share it.
Yeah.
I need to share with you my absolute favorite character of this entire episode. Can we just please talk about Coco for a second?
Oh.
Oh my gosh.
She comes out in her whole Jessica Rabbit gear up and just is stunningly beautiful. And I don't know if our viewers know or not, but Coco is actually played by Palermo, who was the winner of season 1 of RuPaul's Drag Race France. And this character was created because Norman Reedus is such a huge fan of that show in particular that he wanted Palermo specifically to be on the show. And so he wrote this role for her and nailed it.
She went over to pick up the knife. Boys will be boys.
Boys will be boys. Yeah.
And what was it? Was it you, Barb, that said, "How do all these people have such great manicures?" During that? I'm like, or Dawn, you said that. I'm like, Coco was doing it.
Yeah.
Coco, yes.
Was doing all of the beautifying.
She was tweezing the eyebrows and she was doing all that kind of stuff for these.
Exactly.
Yes, ma'am.
I'm telling you, I'd be searching for that in the ZA. I'd be wanting my nails done.
Right? I've been looking for Coco.
Yes.
And she's going to be in the underground for sure.
There's something to this, kind of you think back to what Izzy was saying to Daryl about the bar that was down the street. When they pulled the curtain or closed up, they kept it open just for the artist and people who were going to change the world. And I'm like, why have we not seen more of this in other places? Even over in the state side, we're trying to find a sense of normalcy in a world that's gone mad and dead. It's just, it was kind of, a seedy place, but it was, if you've ever been to a nightclub, that's, they can be kind of seedy. But to me, it was just a place of normalcy in a world that was no longer normal.
Right. Yeah, Bill, you could definitely be on Drag Race. I agree. Bill Harrell said he could be on Drag Race.
Well, remember that at camp, we're dressing you up.
Yes, do it.
Yes. Oh, that's the party we should have as a drag party.
There you go. Well, we already know Ben and Terry can pull it off.
Oh, the fembots need to make a return for sure.
There you go.
I'll pay to see that, Angel.
Yeah, right. Yeah, she would. There we go, ladies.
Yeah, so I got a complete, total Jenna Davis vibe from this lady, the younger Jenna Davis. But then you kind of sank my battleship, so to speak, because you made the perfect pairing of the singer from the movie Ghost Ship. But yeah, I got a Jenna Davis, early young Jenna Davis vibe off of this.
Mm-hmm. I see it in the black and white picture. Yeah.
Uh-huh. Yeah, and I totally, as soon as I saw this, I was like, no, that's Francesca from Ghost Ship. I don't know why. It was just that, I don't know.
But I can see it. I love Jenna Davis.
Mm-hmm.
No.
So one of the things that I wanted to talk about in this episode is that there's so much art. And you guys know how I geek out about the sets and stuff like that. There's so much art that is in the background of these shots. And I don't think everybody realizes. And I don't know if you guys got this vibe or not, but I did, and I'm also a big a buff of World War II and Nazi Germany and all the atrocities that they did. And what a lot of people don't realize is that the Germans basically just raped the countries that they were taking over with all of their artwork. They raped them of their cultural pieces that they were taking care of. And of course, the Louvre is in France, and you've got all this artwork. You've got the Monets and all this other stuff. And so you'll find that a couple of these slides, I have focused in on those particular things. And I thought it was interesting that Daryl said that the blue water lilies reminded him of home.
Mm-hmm.
And I have my own thoughts about why it reminded him of home, but what do you guys think?
Mm-hmm.
What's that pond over there by Elder's Mill? That's what it reminded me of.
Yeah, I was gonna say, it reminded me of a pond in Georgia.
It reminds me, you know, when you're going into Sonoy, and everybody that's been to Sonoy, they kind of can relate to this. But when you're coming from Peachtree and you're going into Sonoy, and you go down that dip, and there's that lake that's to the right with all the water, you know, all the scum and all that kind of stuff. That's what it reminded me of.
Well, and do you guys remember in the Fear of the Walking Dead when we got introduced to the tower with Strand in the tower, and they had collected all of the artwork from the surrounding museums and put everything up in there? And of course, you know, what was it I told you gals? The water lily sold in 2019 for $10 million.
Jeez.
Wow.
That's
$10
crazy.
million.
And then we've got Daryl and Izzy talking to the guys that are possibly getting them the boat, and things go horribly wrong. And then we've got Quinn on the balcony looking down. Yes, Jason, Cherokee Rose was next to a pond. You are correct. But that statue that you see in the bottom picture, and I know that it's meant to be the original, but it's actually a replica of the original Aphrodite of Knidos, which is in Greece.
Mm-hmm.
And so, you know, like I said, I was diving deep, boy. I was looking at art pages and trying to figure everything out. So I just found it interesting that, and you'll see it not only in Quinn's office, but you see it in Janae's office as well. You'll see art pieces, and it Nazi Germany just hoarding all of these things.
Well, and he even said that those underground bunkers were used during World War II by the German and the French generals and commanders, depending on who was winning at the time.
Okay, so I want to take over on this one.
Go for it, girl.
So Quinn is a chauffeur before the apocalypse. So why does he all of a sudden have all this power?
Yeah.
I was in shock.
Like, you know, you seen when Conrad came in, he was like, "Hey, this place is off limits to you." And I'm like, how is this guy so powerful? So I'm really interested how a chauffeur driver became so powerful.
Well, think about how a gym teacher became so powerful.
I know.
True. Oh my God. True. Yeah. Or Carol.
Exactly.
But yeah, that was a shocker, Dawn. I was like, what?
Yeah.
But I kind of knew that he was like an escort, like waiting on her or something in the beginning, because I thought it was strange because, you know, he was there to pick her up when, you know, everything went down.
Yeah, and knew exactly where she was going to be because you had mentioned that last week.
Well, you know, he makes the comment in the office when he's making the discussion about the French and the generals using the bunker. He said it worked for whichever side needed it. He approved, or he understood the pragmatism of switching sides. And so that just shows you right there what kind of person he is. He will switch sides to whatever benefits him. And you know, he is a master manipulator.
Which was proven when he was trying to get rid of Izzy's sister.
And that's probably how he got all the powers. You know, he's probably doing things behind Ganette's back. But when she shows up or her people show up, I'm all good for her and good with her.
Right.
Well, I'm sure he's going to have to answer on this next episode.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
And I took this shot because of the catacombs. I think the catacombs are such an interesting place, and it's definitely on my to-do list someday, my bucket list, to see the catacombs. I don't want to go in really deep, you know, but I just thought that it was really interesting, and I'm really glad that they used the catacombs because it's such an obvious filming location for The Walking Dead.
Mm-hmm.
You
And
know?
Palu mentioned the Black Plague that we had talked about last week.
Uh-huh. Right. So here's Laurent. He's pissed off at Daryl and Isabel for lying to him. I still don't understand why he was pissed off at Daryl. Daryl wasn't the one lying to him. Isabel was. And he overheard the conversation, and Daryl was just trying to get her to be honest with him, and he's pissed off at both of them, I guess. I don't know. Temperamental teenager. But
That was such a good little deal that he did there, that Daryl did with Izzy, that dialogue. And there was something in his mannerisms to me that said Negan. I don't know if it's the way he stood, the way he turned and looked at her, or there was just something in his physical mannerism that echoed Jeffrey Dean Morgan to me.
Well, didn't you think Daryl was kind of a little harsh in this episode on some occasions? Yeah.
Very much so.
Yeah.
Destiny, how can anybody be pissed off at Daryl? I don't know, honey. I don't know.
Okay, Barb, you're up, babe.
In the last episode, when Daryl was fighting the walkers, he fell down to the ground. He went to go grab his knife, and they zoomed in on it twice. And it looks like Carol's knife to me. And then they did it again in this episode. Again, I know he came off the boat and he got the weapons from the area in the armory, but they're focusing on, again, something I always notice is when they focus on something too long, it's for a reason. And I think it was you, Carol, that said he chose that probably because it reminds him of Carol. But it does look like her knife. Except the blade might be a little bit too bigger, but there's another throwback or, a little Easter egg.
Yeah, it's foreshadowing, I think, her coming.
Mm-hmm. And they showed it, they zoomed in on it twice in this episode.
And twice in the last episode.
Yeah.
And Barb, what was it you and I said at the same time?
What?
Chokehold, you legal asshole.
Oh, yeah. Chokehold, you legal asshole.
That's why I picked this particular picture, because you guys had mentioned that and it cracked me up. So I'm like, yeah, that's got to be in there too. So
yeah, made me think of Shane.
Yeah.
So.
Shane 2.0.
Dawn, what was it you said? I got so tickled. Daryl can't run and he's not a superhero.
No. No, action hero. Action hero, yeah.
You see him trying to run? It is so sad.
I know.
So I wonder if it's staged that way, like, we know he got a terrible knife wound in his thigh from Alpha, or is this a real injury from that car wreck that he had in Berlin when he was thrown through the windshield? So we'll have to ask him the next time we see him, can you run?
It
and it's a sideways run.
It reminds me of when I watched Harrison Ford in the new Indiana Jones movie, because he was kind of trying to get around. And it was like, you can't get around no more, Indy, like you used to.
I do have to ask, Eliza, how long ago was this Berlin accident?
It was early on in the seasons, wasn't it?
2013, I think, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was.
Oh, so it was early. So he ran better through The Walking Dead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, he is getting older.
Yeah.
That's a sideways dragging where he looks like a hunchback of Notre Dame trying to
We love you, Norman.
Sorry.
We love you, Norman.
Sorry, not sorry.
Sorry, not sorry.
Stephanie says he still looks good though.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I knew about that, but I didn't know it was Berlin. I just knew about the accident. But like you said, I think that, like they're pulling off of the whole knife from Alpha thing too, but
that's possible.
Right.
And I wonder why he didn't do a Rick grab and grab on the side of the building, and he just stood there and the floor dropped or the roof dropped.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay.
He was kind of like thinking,
he just looked up like,
well, here we go.
Yep.
I'm like, move, it's going. No, I'll just stand here.
My hope is that he falls through and he finds some REA, the ready to eat things down there in the
MREs.
Yeah. MREs. That's my hope. So he finds chili and whatever the other one was at the same time.
I found one of those MREs in Alden's church.
Yep.
Mhm.
Oh, that's
my
right. I
God,
forgot
how
about that. Was that the same time when you guys found the Bible?
Mhm.
Was
Yep.
it? That
Yep.
was crazy.
Fun.
Mm. All right, so there we have it. There's all the slides.
Hey.
So, what are your predictions for next week?
Daryl dies.
But he has to be outside of Paris because Laurent has already said he's not going to die in Paris. So.
Right,
We
exactly.
lose the whole community and Daryl lives.
Right.
Sails away happy. No, I don't know.
I think we're going to see some more of these variant walkers. I think we're going to see Quinn get questioned. So we might get some answers there.
Yeah.
I really hope they give us more insight into the testing that's been going on and that they're doing. I want a connection to the CRM so stinking bad.
I know.
Me too.
I want that connection.
Mm-hmm. I want to know why there's so much red in these shows. There's so much red in these shows. It's almost like I don't know. It's like there's red everywhere. It's just a reoccurring color that is in almost every scene of any place that you know trouble's going to happen.
Well, I'll give you a little tidbit here. I watch PT Bry, and he always talks about the red connection.
Yeah.
And he says if you always notice red is to do with death, and he will go through episodes. He actually has a video where he takes certain scenes and somebody dies every time you see red. Like somebody will be wearing a red shirt and the next episode or whatever they die. So there's a red connection with death coming.
Well, I hope it's not Coco. Because there was a lot of red and she's wearing red, and I just really hope it's not Coco.
Anissa says, "Will we get a Coco Walker?"
Anissa, stop it.
That would be
Cool,
interesting.
though. A variant Coco Walker.
A variant.
That would be
Coco
pretty
Walker.
crazy. That would be pretty crazy.
I am sitting on the edge of my seat waiting for these connections, and I think that's why I'm digging so deep into the Easter eggs.
Uh-huh.
You know, because like even saying Carol was on the ship. You know, I'm looking for something. I was
Didn't you
looking
think
for it
that-
in Dead City. I'm sorry.
Didn't you think it was weird though that Daryl hasn't like stopped and went, "What's with these walkers?" Like he's not even questioned it or even
Yeah.
like looked confused when he saw him fall from the buildings and getting up and moving.
Well, not only that, you made a point too about his arm. Didn't he
Yeah.
think he was going to get infected?
Yeah, he didn't even think anything about it. You know,
Right.
they just cauterized it and that was it. And he didn't even think anything where if you get bit, they're wanting to cut your arm off.
Yeah, I mean, at least Negan, when he saw him going over the fence in Commonwealth, he went, what the fuck? And then when he
That's what
saw
I'm
him falling out of the building, he's like, what? They've fallen out of the sky now?
Yeah.
But you're right. That's a good observation. He's just kind of been like, okay.
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 He's acting like it's normal and it's not normal.
That's true. Are you ready, Barb?
Got my
Dun,
picture.
dun, dun. We need some music.
Yay.
3 questions with Barb.
3 questions with Barb. So we're going to have some little trivia tonight. Who's ready? Remember again, going to have Lisa and Carol on the lag. So whoever they see first.
Got it.
These are obviously going to be from the Daryl Dixon show. And the first prize up is a picture by Suki.
Oh, it's Oscar.
It is Oscar and is an 8x10. Who wants this one?
It's a great.
And whoever wins, message me and you'll get it sent out to you. Okay, first question. It's going to be quick fingers. What is the name of Isabel's sister? What is the name of Isabel's sister? Trivia. Got quiet in here, people.
Oh, Kiki.
Kiki got it.
Good
You
job.
get that
Kiki.
signed by Oscar.
That's what I was just thinking too. Get
All
an
right.
autograph at camp. Come to camp.
Good job. All right. These are going to be quick fingers questions. The next one up is a picture, And I did this one specials by Jeremy Palco. Little like 3x5, I
Pretty.
think it is. But it's got a little boat in the corner.
Aw.
Aw.
Little Daryl boat.
A little Daryl boat. Question number 2. What did Isabel use on Daryl's scar on his head to fight the infection? What was it called?
Monkey blood.
What did Isabel use on Daryl's scar on his head to fight the infection?
We got nothing.
It was like 2 things, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm.
It had 2 names.
Mm-hmm.
Monkey blood.
No, not monkey blood.
Come on now.
And if you've ever had that,
Nope.
mm,
Nope.
Everybody's Googling.
everybody's Googling, right?
Wrong.
4, 3, 2, 1.
Okay. It was honey garlic.
Which is
All right.
my favorite condiment.
Yes.
Condom.
Look, I was trying to be good tonight, okay?
All right. This one is done by Rachel, and it's how do you say it? Blue
Yeah,
Baloo.
Rachel Baloo.
Alpha.
Oh, cool.
But that's cool.
Okay. Question number 3. Fast fingers. Let's go. What TV show were the kids watching? What TV show were the kids watching?
We're going to get like 12 variations of it.
Yeah, I know.
Fast fingers.
Where is everybody? Come on now.
Come on now.
Come on, come on.
Sanford.
Son.
That's actually my favorite
All
show.
right,
We got it.
Wendy Pinnell.
I wanna,
Yay.
Good job, Wendy.
Nanu. All right. Congratulations, everybody. That's 3 questions every week.
Kiki and Wendy, if you guys will DM Barb on Facebook and give her your address, please.
And we'll put this one up again next week, and we'll have 3 more questions.
Yes,
Remember,
please
Daryl,
do
do
not
a vote.
message the camp.
Yeah.
Yeah, don't message the camp.
Yeah, you send it to Barb Cats on Facebook.
Actually, if you guys have time, I could try another question for this one.
Let's
Go
do
ahead.
it.
Let's
All
do
right.
it.
It's got to be very specific. Carol knows this, Eliza knows this, and Dawn knows this. It's got 5 words. It's got to be exact to get this picture.
Come on,
What were the
Destiny.
very first 5 words Daryl spoke in the very first episode
Of this show.
of this show? What were the very first 5 words Daryl spoke in the Daryl Dixon show? He had 5 exact words.
Destiny.
Destiny.
Hey, Destiny.
She wanted that Daryl boat picture. But she's got to take it and she's going to draw a little stick figure laying on top of it.
You're just going to cut out a picture of Norman and put it on there.
Everybody else was like right behind her. I'll give this to you when I see you, Destiny.
Firing it off.
Good job. Good job.
Woot, woot. Jeremy Palco with his little boat.
I love
Good
it.
job, everybody.
Good job, everybody.
Yes.
Well, this was a fun episode.
Mm-hmm.
We've got a couple of announcements. Just some upcoming things that are going on. We have the Lake Joy Trails of Terror, and they just announced today that our favorite faux husband, Mick Grimes, is going to be there along with Darren Tilson. Is that how you say Darren's last name?
Yep.
Right?
Yeah.
Notorious Negan, the 2 cosplayers and the lookalikes will be there. And that's going to be October 20th in Georgia. And then, of course, I keep posting this because I'm super jealous that I'm not going to this one. Greg Nicotero is going to be there, and of course my man Tom Savini and Don and Barb know what their
You should be there.
is.
Yes.
The
And
gift
then-
wrap Greg Nicotero for you. We know.
I know. Yes, you know what you're supposed to do.
Yes.
And Lisa, you want to tell us about this one?
Camp Cares will be October 27th, 11 to 3 in Atlanta at the Central Park Rec Center. We're going to be handing out supplies to the homeless. We've partnered with the City Hall of Atlanta, with Team Depot, and with Two Boys Barbecue. And also going on that weekend down in Florida is Spooky Empire, and it's going to have Greg Nicotero, Tom Savini, Freddy Krueger, Robert England. Yeah, so you can go to Camp Cares, and then you can just drive on down for the 28th in Florida for that.
Yeah, and I believe Doug Bradley's going to be there too.
Yep,
Mr.
everybody that
Pinkman.
Carol ever wanted to see is going to be in one building.
Yeah. For Sutherland, Lou Diamond Phillips. Yeah.
Yeah, that's going to be a good one. And then, of course, we have to plug our buddy Santiago, because Scared City Haunted House is going to be doing that same weekend. They're going to have theirs in Jonesboro, Paragould, Arkansas, and Caitlin's going to be there.
Yeah.
Wow.
So if you're in Arkansas, that's going to be the day to be there. It's Paragould,
What's the date on that? I'm sorry.
October 28th.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And then, as usual, I've thrown this up there so that you guys can see that we are now not only on Facebook, but we're on Instagram and YouTube and Spotify. So Spotify will probably be uploaded tomorrow. So there's all the connections and the things you need to look for. And of course, our merchandise and our Patreon page as well. So go and look for us.
And the camp's coming up. Yeah.
Yes, the camp.
Yes.
We can't wait for that. We're wanting more announcements.
And I
Yeah.
am going in the beginning of October. Not that it's a very big lineup, but it's obviously going to be all the Dukes of Hazzards. But I'm going to Hazard Fest, so I might go do a little live from there. But I'm going by myself, so
That'll be fun. That'll be
Yeah.
great.
that's October 6th and 7th.
That'll be awesome.
Yeah. And we got our auction coming up October 13th,
13th.
Friday at 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 Central.
Yeah.
Shout
so
out
still-
to everybody who donated.
Yeah.
Big thank you.
Yeah.
And if you can't donate, please share. That will help tremendously. Do we have a cutoff on the donations? Are we still taking them, or?
We're still taking them.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, so if you have any memorabilia that you're kind of ready to let somebody else relish, see what I did there? You can reach out to any of us through our pages, or you can even go through our Facebook page, our podcast Facebook page. And the auction will be for Chrysaeus Watson to help with financials while she's going through cancer treatments, which are doing well.
Mhm.
Like Dawn said, share it with other friends, and be sure to join us. We'll be live on October 13th.
And on the camp page.
Mhm.
Yes. So we'd like to thank our Patreons and financial supporters of our show. Destiny Larmore, Terry and Kay Collier, Sandy Morrison, Lauren Perkins, Ben and Melissa Gilbert, Pamela Blythe, Marion Craig, and Dustin Baker. And a very special thank you to Oscar and Casey. We appreciate everything you do for us and your support and allowing us to go live on your camp page.
Yep.
And also, we're getting ready the 1st to do a drawing for the Patreon. So that's a good little thing there. If you are a Patreon, you get in a drawing once a month to win a prize. You get some really sweet merchandise of Relishing the Dead.
Yep.
Yeah, for less than 2 Starbucks coffees a month, you can help support us. The money goes to our streaming platform, and we're also saving the money back so that we can do some great things for people who attend the camp that may not be able to otherwise. And we have different tiers. We have $10 a month or $20 a month. You can be an Alexandrian, or you can be a Commonwealth. So anybody that wants to join in, would appreciate it.
And then we
Yes.
get to hang out with us early before the show too. Yes. So the Patreons get to come on and hang out with us and talk about the show and
Yeah, we
see
get
our
very
smiling faces.
excited. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
There you go.
That's it.
That's
Yeah,
it.
Thank you,
guys.
guys.
See you next
Hope
week.
everybody have a
Bye.
great weekend.
There are many ways to